Greetings, unsettled souls. Oh yeah, Sam IB to Gangi, a minute late for his own show. You're tuned into the correct views. What are you gonna say? There's no behind the scenes queen here. It's yours truly on his solo own, as it were, and his TV is not working. Why is that? As people are tuning in and laughing at me because I can't seem to get this right, I want to remind you that you are listening to listener-supported. Where we go here? Listener-supported program, and that's important. I want to get to this because I haven't talked about it, but it has now become a bit of an issue. Both the correct, I'm going to throw this TV, both the correct views as well as the media speaks have been demonetized. They've taken the ability that the show has to make money away from the show. Now, do me a favor and go back and look at the history of this show. And while I'm toying with this, don't tune out. I'm doing two things at once here. Go back through my history, if you will, and see how many times I've ever done anything to be demonetized for. The worst thing I ever did was I had said that if Donald Trump won the election, that I would moon the camera. And I did. Okay, I didn't get warned for that. If I had, I would have taken it down. It was actually done in such a way that it is legal. I'm not going to say why. I'm not saying it meets YouTube standards. I'm saying it was legal. But, you know, I wanted to see why I was demonetized. For what reason did I lose the ability on the show to make a profit for the work that I do? And then they never gave me one, nothing. I get no money, as in $0.00 for doing the show, unless you donate. And again, go look at the history of what I've done. I don't know, I maybe dropped 8, 10 F-bombs in the course of the entire existence of this show, which is 6, 7 years. Nothing. Okay, nothing. I've sworn less than 20 times and shown my hind end that I did not get a warning for, which you're supposed to get before you get in trouble. So what? Why? Why did I get demonetized? I'll tell you why. Because I talk about things that are not part of the liberal mainstream media establishment. I talk about how Fukushima is poisoning us. But I'm also not a good Republican. I'm sort of a quasi-libertarian, which means I'm really not that great of a libertarian either. But I'm not a Republican, okay? With somebody I like and respect very much and work with, there was an article that came to me that was expected to have a pro-nuclear lean. And I write about everything nuclear, but of course those of you that read or that know what this show is about knows that I break out the hammer for all things nuclear. I don't know. Don't sell me any nuclear anything, because even when they work as they are supposed to, those who live nearby have extremely high rates due to what's called routine releases. I'm getting off my point here, but that's fine. It's my show. Here's what I'm saying. I don't pigeonhole anything. I turned the article down. If you want a pro-nuclear stance, I won't take it. And I have great respect for the person I'm talking about and the people that I write with and the news outlets that I'm affiliated with, because they took the article, they gave it to somebody else, and they didn't complain, they didn't gripe, they're not mad at me, I'm not mad at them, everyone's happy. But my point is, I do this because I know it makes a difference. And I know there's not a lot of people that are getting this news from anywhere else. There's not. And they like that they can find it here. And it's sourced. I'm not just making stuff up for the hell of it. It's sourced. I tell you where I get everything. I don't really post it in my description very much because posting links is just one more thing I have to do in an already busy schedule. I tell you where all of my links are. And if you appreciate the show and the things that I have done with the show, I was with the behind-the-scenes queen, Christelle, for a very long time. And now the show is solo. So if you like what's going on, this is me working for you here. Keep that in mind. And if you can, please donate at thecorrectviews@hotmail.com. Now I'm going to go ahead and get into the news here. I'm the Fourth Amendment Ranger here. I don't think there's anybody in the world that's quite as obsessed with the Fourth Amendment as I am. But I'm going to go ahead and give you a story that's absolutely true. I was in Sandusky, and I had pulled out of the gas station and neglected to put my headlights on. I deserved a ticket for that I thankfully did not get. And I wish to thank the officer. And nothing I'm about to tell you is bragging. This is not bragging. I did nothing illegal, and he respected the law. And I wish to publicly thank him on air for what I am about to say. I was pulled over, and he asked me, license, registration, etc., etc. I gave him those things. And he asked if I had any marijuana in the car, and I had said no. And I looked up, and he had told me that years of police work had told him that if you look up, it usually means that's where you're hiding what he's talking about, in this case, marijuana. Now, I'm not going to pretend I've never smoked marijuana. I have admitted on this show that I have. My point is, that's not why I looked up. Years of police work let him down. What I looked up for was that was where the insurance paper was that he was asking for, and I was on whether or not I had paid it or was going to pay it, and if it was paid. So I looked up out of worry about the insurance. Now, I can't tell him that. He didn't ask, so I'm not lying to him. He said, who is your insurer? And I told him. Maybe if I had been a little bit better of a person, I would have said, and I think it might have lapsed. Okay, I'm a good person. I'm a Christian. I'm not that good of a person. Okay, I'll just put that out there. But that was why I looked up. Because if I was going to travel with marijuana, I'm not going to put it in my visor. But anyway, I got out of the car, and I let my wife know that the van is in my name. So simply tell the officer your name, your social security number, that you're not carrying any weapons, and that you do not own the van, and that you cannot consent to any searches and seizures. Now, I don't know how many people are going to see this. If you are, say, I see this in the comment line. First 5 people to do so, I'll send you something free if you let me know at thecorrectviews@hotmail.com. This has a point. And if you are listening, then you're one of the subscribers, okay? You're one of the unsettled souls. And you're about to get a little bit of knowledge here that's going to help you. That's why you subscribe. That's why you share. Thank you. I said, tell them that you do not concede to any searches and seizures because this is not your van. So I got out, and he asked me to do a sobriety test. I did a sobriety test. I passed it. I let him know that I do have a touch of scoliosis. No, that is not have sympathy for me. It's like this much. However, if I stand perfectly straight, you can tell just a little. And I don't think I was born that way. I think it was the result of a skateboarding accident. For those of you that are thrashers, I was trying to pull off a boneless on a mini half and missed it. Skaters know what I mean. Everybody else is lost. Back to the topic. If you're one of those skaters, let me know. I got something free for you, too. It's going to be awesome. So anyway, I let him know that. So I passed my sobriety test. And he said, "Where are you going?" And I said that I'm going to my hotel. And I told him where the hotel was. Shout out to the awesome people, and I do mean awesome people, at the Seacrest Motel in Sandusky. And he said that you're heading in the opposite direction of that hotel. I said, yes. I pulled out, I forgot to put my headlights on, and I got in the wrong lane. Now, the truth is, all of that. But I was also going to a bar. Now, I'm not going to tell an officer I'm going to the bar. I didn't lie to him. Everything I told him was true. Everything I just said was true. And I said, "Are you going to give me a ticket for the headlights?" He said, "No, but I would like to search your vehicle." I said, "I do not consent to any searches or seizures." He goes, "Oh, you're one of them." And I said, "I don't know what you mean, but perhaps, sir." And he gave me a weird look, and I said, "I'm not consenting to searches and seizures, but I am respectful of law enforcement. So you're wondering if I'm a threat. I'm not. Don't let the hair fool you." So he laughed and said, "I'm going to talk to your passenger. Wait here." So I left him talk to my passenger, and I waited there. She said exactly what I told her to say. He asked if she had been drinking. She said no. Since I had not been, then he came back and he asked, "Where have you come from?" I said, "I came from Cedar Point." He said, "Okay, that's the exact same story that she gave me." So I saw some people just tune in. You're going to have to go back to understand the end of this story, but I have a lot more to come, so don't go away. So he said, "All right, both of your stories match. And if I had had a police dog here, I may have decided to see if there had ever been marijuana in your car." I said, "Officer, I won't lie to you. I'm in a band. At some point, with all of the people that have transported gear and all but lived in my van during times that we had played shows, there's a very good likelihood that there was at one point marijuana in the van. I'm simply telling you that there isn't now." So he let me go and I drove away. And that is the power of the Fourth Amendment. That is why the Fourth Amendment matters. Now, what if we weren't talking about drugs? What if we were simply talking about mistaken identity? What if we were talking about somebody that looks a lot like someone else? Okay, well, let me go ahead and get to the story. That is the lead-out story that I'm going with today. And I've been very busy lately, so I cannot do these a lot. So if you like them, let me know. And if you're watching, call 330-371-4530, and I will put you on the air. Listen to this. IMT Online. Facial recognition may be coming to a police body camera near you. The country's biggest seller of police body cameras on Thursday convened a corporate board devoted to the ethics and expansion of artificial intelligence, a major new step toward offering controversial facial recognition technology to police forces nationwide. Now, do me a favor before you think, "Well, that's awesome. That way they can get the killers off the street." Okay, this is why I'm not really Republican or Democrat here. Democrats are going to say, "You can never do that. It won't do any good at all." Okay, that's dumb. It's going to do a lot of good. And I hate to admit it, but it's going to catch a lot of really bad people. Now, before you click off and think, "What a fascist," stop. Republicans' knee-jerk reaction is going to be, "This is the best thing that's ever happened. We're going to be able to catch a lot of criminals." Okay, I don't do that either, because these things make mistakes, particularly among people that have had any kind of reconstructive surgery. You can't see it, but the computer can see it, if you will. Now, I know that's going to get better in time. Let's say it's 100% perfect. Okay, or 1 in a billion, whatever DNA is these days. Stay with me here. If that was the case, then they would just snip your hair or have you spit in a cup or whatever, and they'd catch you right away. If we don't allow that for DNA, then why would we allow it for facial recognition? They keep saying facial recognition is getting more and more accurate. Okay. DNA is already more accurate, but hasn't it been ruled that you cannot use DNA evidence to prove who somebody is just on a routine search? Now, is that ambiguous? I'm not a lawyer. I'm a journalist. I could probably look it up if you want me to. But that matters. Okay, this is a breach of your Fourth Amendment. Many people tuning in, thank you. Go back if you're confused, but do not tune out. This is going somewhere. Thank you. God bless you. Your Fourth Amendment matters, okay? Do you think in little towns back in early America where there were only 500 people in a town or 200 people in a town, do you think for a moment that they didn't know who everyone was already? So that is damn near 100% accuracy. But the Constitution said that even in such situations, the Fourth Amendment mattered and the police could not go through your home without a warrant. If DNA is going to make everything with 2 million people living in the city, if it is going to make everything as easy as 100% assurance facial recognition, then don't you still need a warrant? Do you see where I'm going? Give me a call if you want, 330-371-4530. I'm going to go on here. Axon, the maker of taser electroshock weapons and the wearable body cameras now used by most major American city police departments, have voiced interest in pursuing face recognition for its body cameras. And basically, Rick Smith, the owner, I'm going to cut this short because I've been on it for a second, but go ahead and look it up. You can also find my work on it at the Conservative Daily Post. Rick Smith says, all right, we know that there's going to be some errors, but there's so much, I'm paraphrasing, but there's so much money to be made and so much good's going to happen that it doesn't really matter. Okay, that's dangerous. Because if the law doesn't work for anyone, then you could argue with great reason and certainty that the law doesn't matter for anyone at all. Because anyone can be that one person who it doesn't work for. And beyond that, even if you are innocent, the Constitution that I read said that we were given inalienable, God-given rights. And one of those included the right to privacy. You don't always have to have a reason to cherish your privacy. You don't always have to be, some gay guy that didn't come out of the closet or some guy that likes to watch gangbang porn or what. It doesn't have to be something crazy. Maybe you just want your privacy because it is a God-given right. So don't give me this if you have nothing to hide, then don't worry about it, BS. Okay? All right, check this out, friends. Moving on. FoxNews.com, Crimmy clown, a Belgian clown accused of killing ex, tying up kids with aid of yodeling sidekick. Knock, knock, who's there? Little old lady. Little old lady? Who? A yodeler. All right, yeah, I went there. A famous clown in Belgium fatally stabbed his boyfriend, tied up her 3 children, and then broadcast himself on Facebook during a rooftop standoff with police that ended with his arrest, according to reports on Tuesday. Clown Toby, whose real name is Kevin Lapierre, killed the 47-year-old woman on Mother's Day, as grim as that is. That happened in Altenburg, according to the Daily Telegraph. He roped in his yodeling sidekick to help him take revenge on the woman identified as Carolyn D., who'd broken up with him a few days prior because her children didn't like him. Now, I've said this repeatedly on air. I don't understand you people that are terrified of clowns. It was a really good book. The last movie was certainly better than the one before it due to the graphics, not the acting. Acting was fine. Clowns aren't scary, people. They're just not. I'm sorry. Quit being an idiot. Quit being stupid. Quit being told that that's what you're supposed to think. Yes, I'm waiting for the second installment of the movie as well. But you're an idiot if you're afraid of clowns, okay? It's dumb. But maybe, particularly if they are young, then they saw it and they didn't like the guy. So rather than, maybe explain something like I just did to the children, maybe a little more calm than I did perhaps, no, they decide to go ahead. We're going to start killing people. That'll change the image they have of me. Yeah, that's great there, Toby. I will say some strange people throughout history have been clowns. That is true. I am no longer a clinic clown, but a crummy clown, Lapierre reported toward Caroline's terrified children, 12, 15, and 17, who were forced to watch their mother's murder, the paper reported. They heard him say, "I'm a monster, I know that," before he phoned their school to say that they would be late Monday, according to the paper. Lapierre 30, I bet you he was ripped. Lapierre 31 and Dwightwin Hageman 38 were charged with murder. They have appeared on the TV reality show Belgium's Got Talent, and it just gets stranger and stranger, man. Lapierre entertained hundreds of sick children in the guise of his alter ego, Dr. Aspirin. Great name for sick children, by the way. Hageman was known as Belgium as the Dwightwin the Yodeler, the lederhosen-clad performer who has released Apresski-themed pop singles in Dutch. It's too horrible, especially my children, the children's father told the Belgium newspaper, according to Metro. Body was found in the garage. Pardon me. Lapierre was spotted waving a gun and throwing gas canisters during police standoff, but he did surrender before he lost his life. Now, never let it be said, I gave you like a long dissertation on the importance of the Fourth Amendment, like Mr. Joe Responsible. Then I gave you the creepiest story of all time. That's why you're hitting subscribe, that's why you're hitting share, and that's why you're donating at the correct views through hotmail.com at PayPal. Woman who injected a husband with lethal dose of heroin may have killed 9 others and served their lovers' remains at a barbecue. Now, when it comes to weird news and strange stories, I sort of, if I'm not the king, I'm definitely on the royal court. I get that. I had mentioned this to some of the people that I work for. I won't say which outlet, and they didn't think that it was going to bring a lot of attention. They're probably right. Maybe it's just me, but I sometimes lose track of just how messed up the world is, maybe. I don't know, but killing up to 9 people and serving them at a barbecue, to me, seems like a story that stands out. Listen to this. Does this happen every day where you are? Maybe I'm missing something. In Indiana, a woman who injected her husband with a lethal dose of heroin, which I know I spelled wrong in the description, I'll try to remember to get to it, before smothering him with a pillow, may be responsible for 9 other deaths, as is suspected of serving her lover's remains to unsuspecting neighbors at a barbecue. It reminds me of the story that I wrote for the Conservative Daily Post about a guy that cooked his neighbor's dog and served it at a barbecue. Drum roll to the neighbor. Look it up. Kelly M. Cochran, 34, was sentenced to 65 years in prison last month after admitting to killing her husband, Jason Cochran, but he was already serving life prison for killing and dismembering another lover, Chris Reagan, who vanished in 2014, the Indy Star reported. An upcoming documentary called Dead North, set to air on May 28th and May 29th on the investigation Discovery, probes other possible murders that may be linked to Cochran. Cochran's family told investigators she may have killed as many as 9 people and buried their bodies throughout the Midwest. However, her friends and family also told investigators the stomach-churning tale, nice wording, of how Cochran allegedly served Reagan's remains to her neighbors at the barbecue. Yo, throw another rib on the bobby, or maybe not. Iron River Police Chief Laura Frizzo, who investigated Reagan's disappearance, said she met Cochran and her husband during the barbecue. Court documents stated. The investigator learned Cochran was having an affair with Reagan, but the case went cold until Jason Cochran died in February of 2016 of a suspected overdose. Later on, investigators found he was murdered by his wife. And the story goes on. It's definitely worth reading. It's one of the stranger stories I've seen recently. I don't know. I thought it stood out, but I thought I'd put it on here and mention that, some people thought that somehow, it didn't blow up. I don't know, whatever. To each their own. Got two stories left, friends. One of them is the Dumdy of the Day, which, of course, is the build-up for the Dumbs Count of the month. I'll be mailing out the one I just did a couple of weeks ago, and I'll be mailing out the one I'll be doing at the same time. I've been doing just every 2 months. It's just easier. I get sick of going to the post office. No matter when I go. It's never a never-ending wait. Patch.com. Now, this here is a story that you just don't see every day. Imagine this. I should have had creepy music ready. I so dropped the ball. All right. Hear the creepy music in your head. Dogs rip a person apart. Wiener dogs! What the... all right. I almost got one of those offenses I said earlier. What? Yes, it's true. Pack of wiener type dogs maul Oklahoma woman to death. Patch.com. I don't want to laugh when someone dies, but this is how a pack of vicious wiener dogs. That's like saying a pack of vicious worms. A pack of vicious wiener dogs. Some of them described as predominantly dash hounds. We know how deadly they are. Mauled an Oklahoma woman to death last week. It's unclear what caused the dogs to attack Tracy Garcia, 52, outside her home in Ardmore on Thursday, but their owner could face charges according to media reports. One of the dogs was shot after charging at a Carter County deputy who responded to the attack, and the other 6 were euthanized at the owner's request at the local veterinary clinic. Now, please let me know at thecorrectviews@hotmail.com or by calling 330-371-4530. How does someone end up in a situation where they're vulnerable enough? I don't want to laugh somebody died, but if I already laughed, it's fine. It's documented. How do you end up in a situation where you could possibly die of a wiener dog attack? How? I hope she doesn't have MRDD or something, or I'm going to feel horrible. Carter County Sheriff's Chris Bryant said the incident was just a bad deal all the way around. This is a bad situation, a very unfortunate situation, he told television news network KTEN. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the family of the victims. How did they end up victims? I'm like dying here. Original reports that the dogs that attacked Garcia were pit bulls proved not to be true. Now, see, that would have made sense. Maybe we're being lied to, like the whole multiple shooter thing. The pack consisted of 3 females and 4 male dogs ranging in age from 1 to 3 years old. None of the doggies weighed more than 40 pounds or stood taller than knee high. Their dogs were described as shorter than adults' hands. Kick them. I'm sorry, it's cruel. I'm sorry, kick them. Yes, I said it. If you have to, enough for the hell of it. I'm not an idiot. I love doggies. 6 of them were thought to be standard dachshund and terrier mix. The other was likely a border collie mix, shelter co-director Tina Layton told the Daily Admirette. A predominant breed in these dogs is definitely standard dachshund. The dogs were covered in fleas, and they were cleaning ticks. At no point does it say how this happened. Now, I do have kind of an interesting story about how vicious dachshunds can be. When the world still made sense and passing time was practicing at the home of the former bassist, we had a friend that would come by with a pit bull. And our former bassist, Billy D. Bass, owned a wiener dog at the time. And the wiener dog started the fight with the pit bull. And the pit bull did everything in its power to not attack back, but it was being mauled as we tried to pull them apart. No one guessed in a million years that that could ever happen. But my point is, the pit bull sort of knew this was like an infant going after Mike Tyson, and it growled and it had its ears back, but it kept moving its head away. So if a pit bull knows it, how does a giant person not realize that a wiener dog, I'm sorry, I'm not going to keep going. How in the hell does this even happen? I don't know, but believe it or not, it didn't win the Dumpty of the Day. No, we have something else for the Dumpty of the Day. I've had people tuning in and out, but somebody has been on for the entire show. Let me know who you are. I'll never see it unless you let me know at the correct views of hotmail.com. I'll never have any idea. But all right, friends, check this out. I mean, I got more people coming in. When you came in for the end, you sort of blew it there. But that's fine. That's why they are saved. Smoking gun. Porta Potty voyeur records himself in the act. I'll dedicate this to my friend. She is a bartender at the Buzz Bin. Free shout out to the Buzz Bin in downtown Canton, who has always been very good to our band, Passing Time, facebook.com/passingtimeband. She hates porta potties. She put it online. The funniest post I've ever seen. She put it online on Facebook. And she'd mentioned, the creepiness of it. I don't think she ever suspected something like this. So I'm going to tag her. And she'll probably yell at me. That'll be great. Because then I haven't been yelled at in a while. That's what happens when you're, in the state I'm in. Smoking gun. Porta Potty voyeur records himself in act. How dumb can you be? Well, dumb enough to get the Dumpty of the Day. If you are going to hide a video camera inside of a porta potty, make sure not to be accidentally filmed while setting up the equipment. Police allege that a Pennsylvania voyeur earlier this month placed a tiny camera behind the toilet paper dispenser inside a portable toilet on a construction site in Johnstown. It says that the camera cops say recorded several unsuspecting victims before the worker discovered the hidden device. A review of the camera's footage showed Kenneth Haluska, who wins the Dumpty of the Day, 59, installing the device inside the mobile restroom. Haluska, wearing a white construction helmet and green safety vest, is seen above the stall in a still that is, of course, from the seized video. There he is, Mr. Mustache. Absolutely priceless. Listen to this, friends. Haluska, an engineering inspector, had been in the Johnson construction site on the day that the camera was found, according to a criminal complaint. A detective identified 3 victims who were recorded inside the porta potty. Haluska has been charged with 9 misdemeanor counts in connection with the surreptitious filming. Haluska who lives in Patton, a Johnstown suburb, is scheduled to appear May 24th. District Court. I'm sure the court's going to be very kind to him. I'm sure they're going to look very, very kindly upon what he did. Friends, that is the correct views. Thank you for listening. Again, please donate at the correct views of hotmail.com, which you can do through PayPal. The money you give to me goes towards better shows. These 2 halogens have been going forever. I don't know when they're going to die. That's going to cost. The one above me is just a regular light bulb, but because I never got around to getting the other light fixed that died. The camera you're watching is on my computer, so I'm trying to get a new one of those. As you can see, I do have the studio back up. I'm back in my home. I'm no longer doing the show from other locations, and I thank you for that. Good night, friends. God bless.